This episode of In Focus is brought to you by DeVry University. Let nothing stand in your way.
According to Greek mythology, Prometheus, the great champion of mankind, snuck up to Mount Olympus and stole fire from the mighty Zeus, passing the torch from the gods to the people. Still today, the Olympic torch is passed literally and metaphorically. In London, it will be passed again. From soccer's most prolific scorer, Abby Wambach, to Alex Morgan, who after a dazzling performance in the World Cup is quickly becoming the next American soccer goddess.
As we were leading into the World Cup run-up, you couldn't ignore her. She'd be on the practice field and scoring these goals from ridiculous places, no angle. Defender is literally right there. She can turn and get a powerful shot off, which is very rare in the women's game, with a very quick snap.
Morgan has a chance here and scores! Alex Morgan for the USA! What a glorious moment! The breakthrough at long last.
Describe your relationship you have with Alex.
Alex and I, we have a great relationship. She's very diligent about how she takes care of her body. She's definitely in the training room way more than I was when I was her age. She's way more responsible than I was.
You know, I was really watching the national team and I was like, oh my God, I want to be there. I want to be with that player. Like, Abby Wambach is my role model. So it's just funny, you know, like going into my first camp a couple of years ago, I was so intimidated by her, so scared to even speak to her.
And then how did you get over that?
She's just so friendly. I mean, and then I got out to practice and she's just like, why don't you try doing this? Or how about let's work together doing this? And she's just so personable, so it made me just feel really comfortable right away.
I've been really impressed, and at the time, it's really easy to come on in some ways and just play and not worry about all the extracurricular stuff. I think that she's got a very bright career ahead of her, just as long as she keeps her head on her shoulders and stay humbled by all the little things that she used to love about the game.
Have you ever taken Abby aside and asked her some advice as you prepare for London?
Oh yeah, I ask Abby advice all the time. I sort of probably annoy her a little bit too much. You know, she'll tell you how she feels, but it's just the way she says it is just so motivating that you really listen to her and you really take it in and think how you can change your approach or what you can do to apply what she said to your game.
What makes Abby an expert? It's partially due to her time and experience in the sport, but also the similar relationship she formed with one of soccer's biggest stars, Mia Hamm, who once passed the torch to Abby.
Mia was definitely a huge force and impact in my career. At the time, I was like, gosh, I'm getting drafted second. Probably the best thing in my entire existence as a women's soccer player is to get drafted number 2, because I got to go learn from the greatest. And I think that she really tried to put and dedicate some of her energy towards me, because we made such a dynamic duo up top, and it was nice having all the defenders focus on her, because then I got to kind of have free reign.
They had a similar relationship of what she thinks that me and her have, and I mean, it's awesome to be compared to her and Mia, because you know, they just led this team to such great success, and Mia was such a great leader, and she really did help Abby transition from college to the international level.
You know, Alex has said to me sometimes, I can't believe how many goals you scored, and I'm like, same thing Mia said to me, I'm sure you'll score more than me. I like to think of my role on this team a little bit like a responsibility. It's something that was passed along to me. It's kind of what this culture is all about for the women's soccer team.
And it's the culture that has fostered a strong bond between the two. But the relationship isn't just one way. Despite the 10-year age difference, Alex has dished out her fair share of advice. I remember when I was training being one of the older girls on the Olympic team, and some of the younger girls used to have to motivate me and get me focused at times, even though I had the experience. Did you have that situation ever happen with you and Alex, where she had to get Abby in line and Abby a little bit more focused?
Yeah, of course. And that's what's really cool about Alex is she's kind of come a long way in a very short period of time. She's gained what I like to call a little bit of swagger. And for me, I don't see myself as up here. I definitely am a peer-to-peer person. If you're on my team, I don't care how old I am or how young you are. If I'm not doing my job, you have every right to tell me to pick it up and get moving or whatever it is.
That's one of the few things that I think I can do in return is, you know, when her touch is off or when we go in a weightlifting session and she's just not feeling like it, like working out, that I really do push her and I really do, come on Abby, come on Abby. It's funny because I actually just thought of this recently, the quarterfinals against Brazil in the World Cup. We were going into penalties and you know, she had just scored and she was all riled up and she was like, we need to keep calm, we need to be calm and we need to do this and just everyone stay calm, it's okay. And we're like, Abby, you're the one freaking out, it's okay.
So the 20-something-year-old athlete motivates the 30-something-year-old athlete?
I mean, I guess so, but I think she motivates me more than vice versa.
After a disappointing end to their World Cup run in 2011, there is no shortage of motivation for this team, who look to bounce back in London and capture Olympic gold.
After our loss to Japan, I was heartbroken. I couldn't even cry. I was just so tired, exhausted. At that point, when you get to the end of the games, it's not about how you physically feel, because we could push our legs through anything. It's just about how you're up here.
No matter what the result was in the World Cup, the fact that we do get another chance so quickly allows us to really refocus our energy and honestly puts a little bit more fire in our bellies to motivate us. I mean, there is probably no greater motivation than the Olympic rings and the torch.
It's easy to see the fire in Alex. It's the same fire that burns in Abby and Mia Hamm before her. The passing of the torch from generation to generation is more than just a myth. It's a rite of passage.
Abby has just become such a great leader that, you know, I respect her so much and I trust her in guiding me into the right path.
That's what we're here for. We're all here to be better than the generation before us. That's what we all should really hope for, is for the people who come behind us, not only to have a better opportunity, but to break all of our records. And then they don't have to talk about me. We can talk about Alex.
This episode of In Focus was brought to you by DeVry University, proud to support the education of Team USA.